Let's roll, Bama Nation! We made it to Wednesday! 3 days! Trent Richardson, Calvin Ridley, Jermaine Burton, maybe, Terrion Arnold. 3 days away from Bama football. Season opener, Middle Tennessee State. Saturday, Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, but you're rocking and rolling right now. Hottest show in the streets for all things Bama football, in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have you guys in here checking out the show. We bring you the show from the magic city of Birmingham. We stream this to you through YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you know what time it is. You tap that subscribe button right now. Like, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Get every diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football that you know. Hit that subscribe button. Share the show to everybody that you know on all platforms. Get them hooked on it. Because if you love it, they will love it as well. Don't forget to hit the like button. Tap the like button. Give us a thumbs up. Like the show. Appreciate the love from all of you. Trying to get this show 50 likes out the gate to start it. That daily super chat goal, $100 daily. Super chat goal, $100 right there. Ty Alexander is already showing the love with the $4.99, dropping it in the bucket right there. Appreciate Ty Alexander helping us out right there. Also, hit that notification bell so you miss nothing when it comes down to your Bama football news. We got an outstanding show tonight. We want you guys being a part of it. You do this by calling 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be made known, 205-448-1358. One more time for the little old lady in the back, 205-448-1358. Number to call in. Number is also on screen. But without further ado, Eli, let's get this thing popping here. Alabama playing MTSU on Saturday, and I know everybody continues to talk about the whole thing with the quarterbacks. I continue to say my same statement. It will solve itself out. In my opinion, this is exactly where Coach Saban wants it at in terms of the quarterback situation. Even Greg McElroy, former Alabama quarterback turned analyst, has stated how Alabama very pleased with this entire situation it's got here at the quarterback position. And for me, it's Saban wants everybody around the quarterback to play well. That's Saban's big deal, right? It's not necessarily the quarterback. It's everybody around that position group to play your A game. Everybody around that position group to be successful. Everybody around that position group to ball out. We go back to years past, whether it was 2009 with Greg McElroy, 2011 with A.J. McCarron, 2012 with A.J. McCarron, 2015 with Jacob Coker. You didn't necessarily have the all-world quarterback, but you had all-world talents around the quarterback, and those guys played consistent. Those guys played well. Those guys dominated. Those guys elevated their level of play. which in turn gave the quarterback confidence to make sure its level of play is on that same par, right? So that's the thing, that's the gist with Coach Saban. Having everybody around the quarterback position play well. Because the last 2 years, I mean, let's just be honest, if we're going to call a spade, the last 2 years, it was backyard football, hero ball with Bryce Young. And Bryce Young was great at it. And he was phenomenal at it. And he was your all-world quarterback, absolutely. But it was not suited to how Bama wins championships, right? To have everybody kind of looking around going, okay, Bryce, we don't know what the world we're doing. Bail us out. Bryce, help us. We're doomed here. Bail us out. I mean, that's what it was the last 2 seasons. Guys jogging routes, not going full speed. Guys dropping passes. Guys not all the way locked in. And you just roll out of bed, lollygagging, lackadaisical, and you look around and you go, well, we've got this 5-star quarterback that's going to bail us out each and every time. And that didn't work against LSU and Tennessee. Tennessee last year, you had 17 penalties, you had dropped passes, you had things that did not go your way, and even though you have the otherworldly quarterback in Bryce Young, it did not yield the win because everybody around Bryce Young did not hold up their end of the bargain, right? Same thing with LSU. Bryce Young had some heroic moments in that game, but because everybody else did not hold up their end of the bargain, what happened, you lose that game to LSU as well. So a lot of backyard football, which was cool for Bryce, but it didn't fit the moniker of Crimson Tide. And so when you look at this year's team, this year's group has the firm understanding of, hey, we do not have 9. We do not have that kind of quarterback this year, but that's okay. And it's okay because everybody around him, offensive line, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, are going to hold up their end of the bargain. Everybody around that position is going to hold up their end of the bargain. And on top of that, even the offensive coordinator, Tommy Reese, is going to hold up that end of the bargain in terms of scheming the offense around what the quarterback does well. You go back to Bill O'Brien, he was trying to have Jalen Milroe sort of play in a Bryce Young offense. Jalen Milroe is not Bryce Young. And you have to have guys be true to who they are. Tommy Reese is going to have Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson be who they are as quarterbacks. Be what they were meant to be at that position. Coach Saban spoke today in his presser about, Ty Simpson getting better all the way around as a quarterback, but the entire quarterback room is getting better itself. Tremendous improvement from everybody in that quarterback room. Me personally, I still see Jalen Milroe trotting out there first against MTSU, but at the same time, it's a thing where, some people have it as a negative that Coach Saban has not named a quarterback yet. You look at all of these other teams that have named a quarterback. I see this as a positive. Coach Saban is playing chess with the rest of college football. He's not going to give you his hand. He's not going to tell you what he's got up his sleeve. He's not going to show you the ammunition he's got. He's going to wait to get on the field and let the ammunition show for itself. And that's how it should be. And that's how it should play out. He wants everybody hungry, ready to go, getting after it, showing, hey, I'm the guy for a reason. So, Alabama's quarterback situation, it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. It is exactly what Nick Saban wants it to be. We're 3 days from the first game of the season, and we're going to get a chance to see up close and personal the quarterback room, how it fits, how it works, who's ready to take this thing over. But we go to our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting started. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines. We get your phone calls, your thoughts, your conversations. We want to dialogue with you. Line us up after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right. We're back in here, folks, to the action from the break on a Wednesday, hump day, number one ticket for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. We are 3 days, Eli. Can you feel it? Can you feel your pulse, man? 3 days to Alabama, Middle Tennessee State. I'm pumped right now. We got some super chats, so how about Crimson Kings with that 199, dropping that in the love bucket right there. And then we roll on down to Keith Lindsay. Keith Lindsay in here with the $4.99, showing love. And then the legend, my man Don Parker. You already know what it is. DP Don Parker with that $5 donation, dropping that in there. Appreciate the love from all of you. We go to the phone lines right now to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feel, and state your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen, this is Kyle from Tallahassee, Alabama. How are you doing?
Doing great, Kyle, and yourself. Hope you're doing good.
I'm doing great, man. I'm beyond excited for this season. Every single person watching this is as well. I'm super hopeful for it, man. I'm thinking we're going to go all the way. I had just a couple topics, questions. First being Kevin Steele. Now, if I understand this correctly, I'm not exactly sure on the situation, but isn't he set up to retire next year, or is he able to retire, or how is that going to work? Is it going to be a 1 year and done type of deal? Because we haven't seen any play time with this defense, but man, I'm liking the vibe he's putting into these players, and I'd hate to only have him for 1 year. Is that kind of what it's looking like? Also, I have a follow-up question.
Kyle, I don't think it's a one and done thing for Kevin Steele now. This season it would give him his 10th year vetted in the state of Alabama, so he could retire after this year. I don't think he wants to, though. I don't think this is a one and done for Kevin Steele. I think he wants to stick around here because he wants to prove himself that the game has not passed him by. He wants to prove himself that he can still do this at a very high and at a very elite level. So I don't see this being a one-and-done ordeal here for Kevin Steele.
Well, that's great. I wasn't sure exactly how that was going to go. I certainly hope so. And I'm going to be quick here. My second question is, I think I seen in another show of yours where you said that Tresman Marshall was a senior, and I thought that as well. But I was on the roster looking pretty recently, and it said he is a redshirt junior. Now, it's a pretty good chance that he's going to go to the NFL after this season, but on the off chance he don't, we might have him for another year if that's correct. Do you know anything maybe about that?
Well, Kyle, according to the Reese's Senior Bowl committee, they have Tresman Marshall on Senior Bowl watch. That's Jim Nagy and his staff. But we've also seen where guys would put their name in the hat for the Senior Bowl, and then they would remove their name. Case in point, Will Riker did that. Riker put his name in the hat for the Senior Bowl, but then Riker removed his name saying, I'm coming back to Bama for one more year. So it could be a situation where, let's say Tresman Marshall has a big-time season and he feels like, hey, I want to come back and do this again. He could remove his name from that Senior Bowl listing. We'll see what he does.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's pretty much all I had. Keep up the great work, man, and roll Tide.
Absolutely. Kyle calling in right there, getting us started here on a Wednesday. We're going to grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
D, what's going on, my boy? How you doing?
Doing good. G, how you feeling, man?
I'm good. Hey, look, it's kind of some time done went by. Me and you had kind of clicked on heads with this before. Has Saban done away with the funny playing time? There's a lot of hope for the D-line this year. But let's not forget, DJ Dale started the whole year last year. So we hearing good things about how the team looking, but is Saban still on that board when it comes to PT? That's my first question.
I'm gonna say this. I mean, it's still the fact that we could get a situation, G, where Tim Smith could start at one of these defensive end spots, and it's been a long time for Tim Smith. I would like to see James Smith in there. I would like to see Monkel Goodwine, somebody else here on this defensive line. Now, I'm happy that guys like Tim Keenan and Jamarian Latham are getting their just dues as they're growing and rising. But it looks like this first game, we're going to see more than likely Tim Smith out there.
Okay. I mean, he may be the best guy, but like I said, me and you have touched on many different players who we know shouldn't have started. Like everybody know what the hell was Chris Owens doing out there. Everybody know what was DJ Dale doing out there. Like we know for a fact. And I seen Bo kind of double down on you the other day on the standard. He got a little carried away talking about Saban play the best players. I'm like, no, bro. We seen DJ Dale and Chris Owens out there.
I mean, we even looked at, no offense to him, but we even looked at, Henry To'o. It's like, is this really the best option at Mike linebacker?
I would even say the comfortability that Jordan Battle had in his job last year and the comfortability that Marco Helms had in their job last year caused them boys to take a step back because they weren't the same guys that they were in their junior year. But I'm gonna touch on this other side of it. I'm gonna let you go. You had a caller who followed up on my D-line Freddie Roach statement on Monday, and I said this is the last time I'm gonna harp on Freddie because I don't want to drag him. That's a grown man. He's doing what he do. I hope he do good, but we got to stop doing what we're doing for Freddie is what we did for Pete. Oh, the players got to develop. Oh, we got to give them time. Oh, stars don't mean nothing. stars don't mean nothing, but on the D-line and O-line, they do because of how you got to earn the star. And you earn that star on O-line, D-line, and high school recruiting by going to camps and whooping on your one-on-ones and your different segments. So I just want to touch on some things. You know, like I said, people say Freddie's a good recruiter, but I'll say he's not a good D-line recruiter. Yeah, he helped with Jalen Mbakwe. Yeah, he just helped with this tight end. But who are we going to get day one guys? And I heard that you and the caller kind of agreed on Tim Smith being the day one guy. I would disagree because we're not talking about him starting. We're talking about him getting run. We need day one guys again. This is a small rundown to show that stars on the D-line do matter. Deron Payne was a top 50 recruit. Jonathan Allen was a number 10 recruit. Deshaun Hand was a number 7 recruit. Raekwon Davis, 90. Quentin Williams. People like to throw Quentin Williams out there. Quentin was not coached by Freddie. Quentin was coached by Carl Dunbar, who is now coaching my marvelous Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go. But like I said, we got this. I think this will be the last year for the D-line to struggle. I think the D-line hurt the team last year because the D-line didn't win a game last year for us. When will the D-line win the game for us? And I'm on it because we watched Deron, we watched Raekwon win that natty versus Georgia for us. We can all talk about the two of past, but Deron and Raekwon said, hell no, we going to win. When we going to get that back, Steve? We get that back, you can't mess with us. But if that D-line still iffy, I'm worried, Steve. Appreciate you, big dog.
Appreciate G calling in from Raleigh. I mean, D-line is highly important. We even go back to that 2015 game between Alabama and Tennessee. That was a close matchup. I know people look at, well, Derrick Henry scored a touchdown to win the game, but you look at what sealed that game was the D-line. Pressure from Ryan Anderson, forced fumble, A'Shawn Robinson recovered. D-line made the big play in that game against Tennessee in 2015 to win that one. The defensive line is critical. We take this call right here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Yo, Steven, it's Charles from Birmingham.
What's happening? What's happening, Charles? What's going on?
Man, I be at work. I don't be able to call in, but I'm always listening to your show on my off time and stuff, man. But I want to talk to you about a couple things. One thing I want all the fans to know, we is in good hands with Jalen Milroe. He's that dude.
I look at Charles. I look at Milroe. This guy this weekend is about to begin the opening of how dynamic he really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he I look at him as like another Lamar Jackson, man. He's electrified. He's gonna electrify this stadium this weekend, man, and we're gonna put all the haters to rest with this quarterback situation. I like Ty Simpson. He could throw it around there where I like Tyler Buckner, but Jalen Milroe is that dude.
Looking forward to seeing him put on a show, Charles, on this field inside Brian Denny on Saturday. Charles calling in there from Birmingham, giving us his thoughts here on the show. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? Elijah from Jersey. How you feeling tonight?
Doing good, man. We are 3 days, man. I can feel my heart beat even harder, man. 3 days to the season.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I just want to touch on a couple of things and get your opinion, pick your brain, and see how you feel about them. I think one thing you might not agree with, but this is, how I feel, and, I got to just say how I feel. Alabama, in my eyes, Steve, they need a quarterback that's an athlete, not an athlete trying to play quarterback. There's a big difference in that. To me, somebody like Bryce Young, was a quarterback first. Everybody used to scream and yell, why don't he run? Why don't he run? Why doesn't he just hurry up and take off and run? Bryce Young is like a point guard. He wants to distribute the ball. He's not trying to run every time he gets a break. He's waiting for people to open up. And sometimes it costs him. I'm not gonna say it didn't. Sometimes he may have waited too long. But a quarterback is there to distribute the ball. I hear everybody talking about, Milroe's an athlete. That's great. I'm glad that Milroe can run. That adds another dynamic to his game. But that can't be your first option as a quarterback. As a quarterback, your job is to distribute this ball around the field, put the ball in the right place according to the play. I heard you talk about Bryce Young. If you notice, Bryce Young did it last year all on his own. I don't think it was Bryce's style that kept us from getting to that national championship. I think it's exactly what you said. Bryce Young didn't have them dogs on the outside. Let's go back 2 years ago, Steve, against Georgia. The best defense in years, Steve. In years they're talking about. Him, Bryce Young, Mechie, and Jamison Williams chewed them apart. If Jamison in the SEC championship game, they ripped them apart. If Jamison Williams didn't get hurt in that national championship game, will we have a different outcome, Steve?
You do.
It's a good chance we got a totally different outcome. If it's just Bryce Young last year, he's missing them dogs out there. We got so spoiled, and I said this in my last time I called you on Monday, Steve. We got so spoiled with having them dogs at receiver. We ain't got that now. These guys all have to prove themselves. These guys nobody's that number one receiver. Like I said, this year, until somebody steps up as a number one receiver, it's receiver by committee. And the last point I just want to make, Steve, is I hear a lot of people say, you can't compare these players to players in the past. To me, that's crazy, because the players in the past is what created the standard for today. So when these players is talking about, this is the Alabama standard, you're talking about the players from the past. And you want these players right now to live up to those expectations, the path that those players have set. And it goes back to, you didn't run on Alabama. Like the previous caller G said, the D-line was nasty. We didn't have to blitz. We could get to you with 4. That's what people are looking for. And when you look at these players today, when they don't bring that same intensity, they don't bring that same athleticism, they don't do that, you're comparing them to them guys because that's what you expected to see. You expected to see the Jonathan Allens out there. You're expected to see, the Quentin Williams. You're expected to see the Reuben Fosters on defense, the Drake Kirkpatricks in the secondary. That's the standard. Those guys are the standard. So I think it's just crazy when people say you can't compare them, because that is the standard, those guys. Man, let me know how you feel, Steve.
I mean, and appreciate the logic that calling from Jersey, and that's for even a lot of us as people that are consumers of this program. One of the first questions that we ask ourselves when you're looking at a particular player is, what former Alabama player does this guy remind you of? That's one of the first questions that we say. Whether this guy plays quarterback, receiver, running back, doesn't matter the position. The first question we ask ourselves when you look at a particular player is, who in the past or who in Alabama's recent history does this player remind you of? So when you're trying to live up to a standard, when you try to live up to the history of your program, you are trying to put your name right there with previous guys that have done that. Does Alabama have players on this year's team that live up to that moniker? We'll start seeing that coming up here on Saturday. We're going to grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Township, Ohio, born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama.
What's going on?
Not much, Steven. Glad to talk to you, man.
Glad to have you in here.
I'm glad to be here. First time. This is my first time calling in, but I got two things I want to talk about, man. Number one, I want to talk about as great as Nick Saban is. He's made some mistakes. And number two, I want to talk about basically how that defense got to get that defense rolling. So number one, man, Nick Saban, as great as he is, he is the GOAT. But Nick Saban made some bad decisions in the coaching and his hiring. Hiring Pete Golden and Bill O'Brien, especially Pete Golden for 5 years, you can see how he took that defense down. And it was soft. You can say whatever you want to say. The defense was soft. The guys never seemed to have learned his system. And 6 or 7 games into the season, guys still don't know where to line up. I mean, and his, it's just, it was coaching, man. Anytime your players don't know where to line up and can't be heat-seeking missiles and be dogs out there, it's because they're trying to think about what am I supposed to be doing. So that, to me, the coaching for Nick Saban, as great as he is, to stick with him that long was horrible. Bill O'Brien, he could say, "Oh, he did a good job." People start talking about Bill O'Brien. Well, we scored a lot of points, but you can look at that offense and see how it was soft too. Running game, we couldn't run the ball on nobody. We couldn't run the ball on the weak teams. That's coaching, man. And to talk about the receivers and all that is coaching. All that's coaching. And then I just feel like we stayed with Bill O'Brien too long. That dude, he what was his claim to fame? He wasn't good when he coached Penn State. They were average. When he went over to the NFL, if the teams he coached were average, none of his teams, he got fired from the NFL. So Nick Saban made some bad hires, and he stayed with them too long. The old Nick Saban would have got rid of those guys soon. All right, moving on. So I heard a guy a minute ago talking about Freddie Roach. I concur. Freddie Roach, man, is not coaching that D-line up, man. We ain't got no dogs. And I think it has to do with coaching. What has he done to still be around? I like him, but, he's not producing. Same thing for the receivers coach. I just think we got some people in here who are not performing like they should. And I'm talking about coaches. And it's time to let them go. It's time to get rid of that and get rid of the coaches that's going to produce, Stephen. That's all I had to say.
Appreciate D-Mac calling in there from Ohio. Eli, I've made this conversation myself. There are just certain guys in a program you don't let leave your program. I mentioned this about Steve Sarkisian. You don't just let Steve Sarkisian leave. You don't just let a Lane Kiffin leave, a Bo Davis leave. When you have guys that know what they do and the players know what they do and everybody in that organization, they know what they do and do well, here's what I thought. In my opinion, I felt like Sal Sunseri should have stayed. Sal Sunseri should have remained on the staff. And if you would have put Sal Sunseri as the D-line coach, that D-line would be eating like crazy right now if Sal Sunseri was to have remained as the D-line coach. But they put him off the field. He's now with Coach Prime at Colorado. I don't understand it or get it for the life of me why Sal Sunseri is not on this coaching staff. But I digress from that. Appreciate D-Mac for the call there. We're going to grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Yes, this is Mrs. Wright. I'm calling from Opelika, Alabama. First-time caller.
Congratulations. Welcome in.
How are you, Stephen?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
I am good. I am ready for the game Saturday.
I'm pumped up, too.
All I want to call in to say is people need to leave my Jalen Miro alone because I think the boy is going to be something special for Alabama, more special than most.
I agree with you right there. He has shown that not only he can run it, but he has worked so much on this passing this summer that he's about to put together a season that's going to wake folks up.
And I want to tell you, I love your show. I really do. I love your show. I love what you're doing. I really do.
I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Too. My husband loves it too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
And that's basically what I wanted to say, and I'm going to be calling in again, and I'm going to keep following you, and I'm going to keep supporting you.
Absolutely. We appreciate Miss Christie calling in from Opelika here, giving some love on the show. Eli, we get love here. We get love here. It's not just me, it's you too, man. It is you too. We cannot do this without Eli Walker in studio, making sure that everything's being handled properly here. But we got some super chats to get to. So, Eli, where's the horn? There we go. We got Minister RC! Holy cow! $4.99 and the super chats from Minister RC. And then we got The Rock. Wait, the real Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson? No, but we got The Rock here with that $5 donation and the super chats. We appreciate that right there. Drop into the show. Now, if it was Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I would love an autograph right now. Absolutely. But then we got the establishment. Jimmy, Cash, Money, Clay. Whoa! $25 donation. Dropping it in. The super chats, appreciate Jimmy Clay right there. That daily super chat go $100 daily. Super chat go $100 right there. We appreciate all of you. We got a call topic here, and we're gonna get to. Before we get to the call topic, we're gonna hold the calls here. We're gonna hold your calls here. When we get back in the second call topic, we'll definitely get to those calls. But prior to that, we're gonna go to our call topic here. And that's on Eli Ricks, Alabama defense, former Alabama defensive back Eli Ricks, who went undrafted in the recent venue, got picked up by the Philadelphia Eagles as an undrafted free agent. Eli, Mr. Ricks here has made the 53-man roster for the Eagles. After a great preseason in which Eli Ricks had a pick six, 4 pass breakups, he held opposing quarterbacks to a passer rating of 39.1. Eli Ricks made the 53-man roster for the Eagles, which has me go again. Pete Golding did not know what he had. Eli Ricks could have literally been a first-round draft pick. Could have been. But he makes the 53-man roster for the Eagles. We go to a break right here, folks, from the show. Don't touch that dial. When we come back, we dive into the conversation. We got some young guns, young guys emerging on the defensive line as leaders. We'll talk about that D-line after this.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back into the action. Rocking and rolling with you from the break on the hottest show on the streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio. We got Lorraine in here with the $4.99 and the super chats. Lorraine helping us out here, showing love on the show. Until you hit that like button, that thumbs up right there. We appreciate the support from you guys. Hitting that subscribe button as well. Making this your spot, platform, place. All things Tide football. We also have a message board. Touchdown Alabama Magazine, touchdownalabama.com, the message board. The link to the message board can be found in the chat line or in the description. Check that out as well. But topic 2 of the conversation, Eli, on the defensive line for Alabama. There are some young guns starting to emerge as alphas. There are some young guys starting to emerge as leaders on this Alabama defensive line. And I understand, I've mentioned before that they don't have that one alpha personality right now. That alpha personality could grow as we get through the season. Yes, it can. But it's good to see some different names start to come alive here on this defensive line. And the two that Saban's been high on and that the players have been high on, Tim Keenan III and Jamarian Latham. Both of these two in-state guys from the state of Alabama. Tim Keenan, the product of Ramsey High School here in the Birmingham area. Jamarian Latham, a product of Pickens County High School, Reform, Alabama, down the road there south of southwest of Tuscaloosa. So you got these two young men right here starting to emerge as leaders on the D-line. Both of these two redshirt guys. Jamarian Latham, a redshirt junior, came in that 2020 class. Tim Keenan, a redshirt sophomore, came in that 2021 class. So there you have it. And starting this thing off of Tim Keenan, here's a young man that has cut weight. He's gone from 343 to 315 pounds. So leaner body, still powerful, still forceful, he's got speed, very good hand strike, can get after you, can stop the run, has the ability to create a little bit of pressure, but can definitely stop the run. He's right now number 2 behind Jaheim Otis at that nose tackle position. But Tim Keenan is probably going to be a bit more valuable than Jaheim early on in the season. And the reason why, those backup guys get a lot of reps early on because it's hot the first half of the season. The sun is cooking you. You got hydration going on. So that first half of the season, the starters are like, get the backups in, rotate. So that second group is going to be a whole lot more valuable early on than that first group because you want your first group fresh down the stretch of the season, especially when the games matter. When you're playing Texas A&M, when you're playing LSU, when you're playing Auburn, that back half of the season is an important half for those starters. So that front part of the year is key for your backups because they're getting reps, they're getting confidence, they're showing, hey, at any given moment, put me out here, and the production doesn't drop off. So for Tim Keenan, it's the backup to Jaheim Otis, big for him. He's going to get quite the amount of reps here this upcoming season. When I look at Jamarian Latham, you know, Alabama brought in some mean defensive guys in that 2020 class, if you remember that class. Will Anderson came in that class. We all know what Will became. You had Jamil Burrows in that class. Jamil Burrows in the transfer portal, and rumors are looking like he's going to Miami. You had T.M. Smith in that class. We're still waiting on, is T.M. Smith really the guy, or should Bama look elsewhere? This is a big make or break year for him. You had a lot of big defensive players in that class. You had Drew Sanders in that class, and to this day, I kind of feel like if Drew Sanders would have remained at that, if Bama would have kept Drew Sanders and played him at inside linebacker, you wouldn't have had to have gotten Henry To'o because Drew Sanders was that dude. You probably should have kept Drew Sanders, but that's neither here nor there anymore. You had Quandarius Robinson in that class. Big year for Q Robinson. Chris Braswell came in that 2020 class. Braswell, that was more highly regarded to Will Anderson. Big year for Braswell. But Jamarian Latham came in this class too. And remember, he was a big 4-star recruit on that defensive line. He's kind of an undersized lineman at 6'3", 275 to 280 pounds. But very athletic. According to Coach Saban, has no more of those mental errors on the field, knows the system, understands what to do. For some guys, it takes them a bit more time. I can understand that. Right now, he's behind, I think he's behind Justin Aboigbe. Yeah, he's behind Justin Aboigbe, if you will, at one of those two defensive end spots. So, going to be interesting to watch Jamarian Latham get reps out there, what he does, what he can bring, provide. He's also been hurt off and on in his career. So finally healthy. That's a good thing as well. And like I mentioned for Tim Keenan, I'll say the same thing for Latham. The first half of the season is for your backups. Get out there, show what you can do, display your stuff out there on the field, make the coaching staff believe that we did the right thing by putting you out there, as you're going to be keeping your starters more so fresh for the back half of the season. But it's good to know you got two young guys stepping up there on that defensive line with Latham and Tim Keenan for your Crimson Tide. Hopefully both of these guys can collect some sacks here in this season opener against the Blue Raiders. But we go to another break here, folks, on the show, and touch that dial. When we get back, we return to the phone lines. You know what time it is. We're taking your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Hey, line us up. We want to hear from you after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're back into the action from the break on a Wednesday, hump day, number one form for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Eli, we got two more super chats, so let's start off. You know what time it is. We got the sheriff, Jimmy, cash money, Clay, $50 donation. Whoa, baby. Money, 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 money. We got Jimmy Clay in here. Then we got the man Juice with the $9.99. Dropping it in there. My man Juice showing love here. And we got the cousin of Robert Foster. We got Vincent Foster in here, baby, with the $5 donation. Let's go. Let's go. We're rolling them in here. We've hit that daily super chat goal of $100. We appreciate all of you making this what it is. We talk Bama football. Yeah, we got to crowd surf Eli out of here. Eli, you all right there, man? Okay, we almost have to crowd surf you out the room there, Eli. He got way too excited right there. We're going to go to the phone lines to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven, this is Adam calling from Georgia. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Cannot complain here, Adam. We got 3 days until Bama football. We made it through a very hot off season, but we're here. We're here now.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for the first game. I just had a couple of questions for you. It seems to me that Saban didn't produce a depth chart, and I still am not sure whether he's settled on who the starting quarterback should be. So my first question is, if it was up to you, who do you think should be the starting quarterback going forward? And my second question is, a lot of people are saying Texas is going to upset Alabama. I don't think so. I think we're going to win the national championship this year. But what are your thoughts on our outlook for this year and our likelihood of actually winning it all?
Well, Adam, to take the first question, if it was me, Jalen Milroe will be out there first. He's put in a ton of work. The team is behind him. He's behind the team. This guy has really fine-tuned the passing mechanics. I got a chance to talk with his quarterback coach, Coach Stanfield, about a week ago, and Milroe can make all the throws. He can make all the throws. The big thing is going to be these receivers helping him out, catching the football, not dropping the football. But for me, I would have Milroe out there first. As far as the outlook on the season, this is a team that can definitely win the national championship. It starts with Texas. Texas is going to be a big, big, big matchup week 2 of the season. But I feel like if this team could come out here and get after Quinn Ewers early, this can be ugly for Texas. If Alabama goes out there with its front line, if it gets after Quinn Ewers, rough him up a bit, if an offensively control the pace and the flow of the game, it can make work out of Texas pretty early.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thanks so much, Stephen, and roll Tide.
Appreciate Adam there calling in from Georgia. We grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feel, and state your name and where you calling from.
Jonathan Spurgeon, and I'm calling from Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Jonathan, what's happening, man?
How you doing, sir? How you doing tonight?
Man, I can't complain here, man. If I was feeling any better, I would have a twin brother right now.
Oh, yeah, that's real good. How would you compare Alabama's offense to the last couple of years? How would you compare the offense they got this year to the last couple of years?
I would look at this offense, Jonathan, and I would say it goes back to a little 2012/2015-ish. I would look at that. 2012, 2015-ish, to where you're going to have physical, dominant run game, absolutely. But that's not saying Tommy Rees is not going to take shots. Tommy Rees is going to take shots in the passing game. With the tight ends, that group is going to be used a lot. With the wide receivers, absolutely. Now, am I saying that Jalen Milroe is going to throw for 4,000 yards? No. But it's going to be a healthy balance of pound you in the mouth and still take shots down the field.
Okay, they'll leave the defense guessing, really.
Right. So I would look at this team, this offense being a little 2012, 2015-ish, especially with the offensive line that Bama will have this year.
Okay. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. You have a good night, and I'm going to continue to listen to your show.
Absolutely. Jonathan calling in from South Carolina. We appreciate that. We're going to grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steve, what's going on, man? It's Chris from Dallas.
What's going on, man?
I can't call it, man. I'm excited about Saturday to see what's going on, man. Couple things, man. I know I'm kind of a little ahead of or behind or whatever, but what's the deal on Jeremy Pruitt, if you can answer that for me real quick?
All right, so the deal with Pruitt is he got hit with a 6-year show cause from what happened at Tennessee. So now Pruitt is at Plainview High School here in the state of Alabama. Ironically, that was where Pruitt got his coaching, started Plainview High School. That is where Pruitt is right now. Now, a team could have taken Pruitt as an off-field analyst, but if a team would have taken Pruitt, he would have to have served a full 1-year suspension, not being able to do anything. So Tennessee, he got hit with a 6-year show cause by the NCAA.
Okay. But I was wondering, like, you know, because I know Kevin said more like it's going to retire for next year. I just wondered. I don't want to put the cart before the horse sort of deal, but you know, what's to come after Kevin said? So I was just wondering that. And I know this kind of off topic a little bit, but I just want to know, man, where the hell is Jay from Sheffield, man? Look, I listened to the show. Jay, man, he just give it straight up. I haven't heard from him in a while, man. I don't know. You pissed him off or y'all got it, man. But I just want to know where he at, man. If you listen to tell Jay to keep calling in, man. Love everybody else call. Don't get me wrong, but I tell you, Jay, man, he's something to listen to, man. So, and tell Steve Brown I'm giving you a hard time about your glasses too, man. I'll be watching the other show.
I mean, man, appreciate Chris, man, calling in from Dallas, man, give us the love here on the show. But just going back to Pruitt got hit with that 6-year show cause, man, and I hated that. Man, I hated that. But he's at Plainview High School in the state of Alabama, so we'll keep our eyes on Pruitt and see how he does there. But we take this phone call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
This is Tristan from St. George Island.
What's going on?
Hey, man. Hey, Stephen M. I just wanted to say this. I'm not going to take up too much time. I know I only got 5 minutes, but, you know, I wanted to emphasize to all the Bama fans out there how important this press conference was, this previous press conference that Nick Saban had. You know, he said at the end of his press conference, you know, everybody wants to be the beast, but not everybody wants to do the things that the beast wants to do. Nobody wants to have to do the things that the beast wants to do. He started talking about external factors, and, you know, it reminds me of old school Nick Saban speech. I'm sure Stephen M., you remember this. You know, he talked about what does it take to break you, you know, because you get tired, because it was something that somebody said. You know, he said in the end of this press conference, all of a sudden now you're going to play good because you're playing against, you know, an All-American. Now you're going to do what you're supposed to do. No. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do every single play. He says every single play has a life of its own. And, you know, everybody's a little upset about, you know, Nick Saban holding his cards a little close to his chest and not releasing a depth chart and all that stuff, and the QB talk and the inside linebacker talk and the secondary talk and all this stuff. Regardless of all the depth chart and the position talk, I think it's important for all the Alabama fans to be behind our team and support our team, support the 1s and 2s and 3s, and support everybody that's playing, you know, and stop focusing on the depth chart and stop focusing on, you know, those external things. And I think that that's what Nick Saban was really talking about. And I think that because he was saying that right now in this press conference, I think that's because he's emphasizing that right now to the team. I think he's emphasizing that right now to the staff. Stop focusing on external factors. What is it that you need to do right now in order to be successful, be physical, and win games? One more thing, just not to take up too much more time. I want to talk to everybody about on YouTube, because I know a lot of people listen on YouTube. There's been a lot of talk on YouTube, a lot of rat poison, and I got to admit, it's a lot of good rat poison, as Nick Saban said it, before we won the national championship and we whooped Georgia's butt in 2021. Aaron Murray has been talking garbage on YouTube. Danny Cannell, notable Alabama hater. The Uncle Lou on YouTube has been talking. He gets every chance he gets to talk bad about Nick Saban. He's been talking about it. Matt Moscona, he went on Crane and Company and said that 9-3 would be generous for Alabama. Mike Bratton has been on Paul Feinbaum, says that LSU is superior to Alabama. Everybody's been saying that LSU is going to win the West and be superior to Alabama. So I just want everybody to understand and remember that all these people have said this stuff about Alabama and talked bad about Alabama. And I hope that Nick Saban, and I know that he is emphasizing this stuff to the team and to the staff, and I hope that it is fuel to the fire for our team to be physical and win games.
Appreciate Tristan calling in right there to the show. And Eli, it gives you an old school Nick Saban feel, does it not? It gives you a real old school Nick Saban feel. Here in his press conference tonight, here in his pressers the last couple of days, or last few moments that we've been in those, it feels like 09 Nick Saban, 2011, 2012 Nick Saban. You know, not just what will it take to break you and not being focused on external factors, but it's now really control what you can control. Everybody is feeding the narrative of Bama isn't Bama anymore. And the players are saying, keep feeding that narrative. We're going to show you that we're still Alabama football. Coach Saban and the staff is like, well, keep feeding that narrative because we're just going to show you we're still the program that you need to keep every eye and every attention on. They got a whole old school feel to it. Love it. We got an awesome call topic to get to. Sean Alexander, former Alabama running back, legend, fan favorite, all of those things. He has his freshman award watch list out. 3 freshmen for the Crimson Tide on that award watch list. When you talk Justice Haynes, running back, Caleb Downs, defensive back, Caden Proctor, offensive lineman. Those 3 are on that list. Justice Haynes, Caleb Downs, Caden Proctor. Best all 3 of those guys this season starting their freshman campaigns. Take a final break here, folks, from the show. Don't touch that dab. When we get back, we wrap things up with a discussion on why MTSU is a good week 1 test for the Crimson Tide. We'll get to that after this.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama. And you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide Roll.
All right, folks, we're back into the action here from the break. Hottest show on the streets on a Wednesday. Talking nothing but Bama football. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. We want to appreciate all of you right now. All the phone calls, super chats, YouTube chatting, all that you do, making this your spot here to talk nothing but Bama football. But Eli, we round this thing up with discussing this matchup between Alabama and MTSU. For some people, it's, well, you're playing Middle Tennessee State. Bama should walk the dog on this team. This shouldn't even really be a game. Shouldn't be much for competition. Shouldn't be much for contest. You know, Alabama's got a cream puff on the schedule. What could you possibly learn from playing MTSU? Well, this is actually a good test here for Alabama. And I'll explain this. Texas in week 2 is going to want to throw the ball all over the yard with Quinn Ewers at quarterback, Steve Sarkisian calling the plays there, right? Texas is going to want to run the ball some and trying to find the replacement for Bijan Robinson, who's now in the NFL. But at the heart of the Longhorns, they're going to want to throw the ball around. MTSU, under Coach Stockstill, have a high passing offense. They're going to come out in a lot of 4 and 5 wide receiver sets, a lot of empty looks, trying to stretch the field, throw the ball around. Alabama's defensive secondary gets a test. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Terrion Arnold, Trey Amos, Jalen Key, Malachi Moore, Caleb Downs. These guys are the test. Out the gate, week 1, read your keys, trust your instincts, be in the receiver's hip pocket, play the ball, create turnovers, be fundamentally sound. Travaris Robinson's group gets a test out the gate, game 1. This is good. This is also good in terms of, Alabama's offense. When you look at MTSU secondary, they got a good secondary. Those guys can create turnovers. They also got a pretty good defensive front. This is a good test for Eric Wolford. This offensive line, blocking at the point of attack, keeping Jalen Milroe clean in that pocket. Ty Simpson as well, getting the run game going. But most importantly, this is a good test for the quarterbacks and the wide receivers to be on the same page against a secondary that created turnovers last year. MTSU finished 2022 at 8-5. Won the bowl game, beat a top-ranked Miami team. This is a good first test here for Alabama. And you get a good first test at home inside Bryant-Denny. So, for me, I'll have my eyes on this Alabama secondary. Batting balls or creating pass breakups, creating interceptions. But keep my eyes on this Alabama defensive front. Getting after the passing game of MTSU. Stopping the run there as well. Trying to set a physical statement, an aggressive statement out the gate. And then, of course, on the flip side, keep my eyes there on the Alabama offensive line, setting that tone against MTSU's defensive front. And then Alabama's quarterbacks and receivers being on the same page there in the passing game. But this is a good first test. Texas is going to want to throw the football all crazy. MTSU gives you a dose of that prior to facing the Longhorns in week 2. This is a good first test for the Crimson Tide. As always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage here on your favorite program, that being Bama Football. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app, the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. If you got the Android phone for your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I try to be back. Well, I will be at Alumni Hall Friday in Tuscaloosa, doing the show live Friday from Alumni Hall. For you as fans, definitely want to interact with you guys. Appreciate all that you do. Be right there at Alumni Hall. Before we get off, we got to give a word here to our sponsor, BetterHelp. This show has been brought to you by BetterHelp. So, and look at BetterHelp here. BetterHelp. So BetterHelp here, like I mentioned, the show brought to you by BetterHelp. Sometimes in life we're faced with tough choices and the path forward isn't always clear. Whether that's a quarterback having to make a quick decision in the pocket, or a coach dialing up a play on third down, a football player is making many tough choices throughout a game. In life, that may be dealing with decisions around a career, relationships, or anything else. Therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you navigate life so you can move forward with confidence and excitement. Trusting yourself to make decisions that align with your values is like anything. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. Clarity is hugely important when making decisions that can come that can come when talking things through with someone. If you're thinking about starting therapy, hey, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map today with BetterHelp. You visit BetterHelp.com/TDA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TDA. This show brought to you by our people at BetterHelp. We appreciate those guys right there. But like I mentioned, Friday fans will be Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa doing this thing live. Check us out right there. You can get individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in your description. You can purchase individual copies of those magazines and have those sent to your door. Once again, that link found in the description. You're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine. You go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member and or a subscriber today. That link in the description also. As always, show some love to you, the Bama fans, for all the calls, texts, donations, everything. You making this your spot to talk Bama football. Gotta show some love to my man Eli Walker in the production studio, handling that business. Till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. They're getting that schoolwork done as well. Get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. Protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.